Hi, my name is Vanessa Valentin, and this is why I believe. I believe because I was born in a Christian family, and ever since I was a baby, I've been going to church. So I was raised to know about Jesus and know what he did on the cross. And as I grew up, I basically ended up stopped going to church because my parents ended up leaving that church due to some situations. When I got older, I kind of slowly forgot about Jesus and stopped talking about Jesus, and that's when I ended up running away from Jesus, only due to because when I grew up, I found out that I had this dream, and this dream was something that made me think about a lot, and it was about this girl who made me like girls. So when I woke up from my dream, I had that thought in my mind, and I just ran with it since I was like 6 years old. And I kept it because I knew since growing up in church that being with the same sex is a sin. I just kept that a secret as I grew older, and I prayed about it, knowing and asking God, why do I feel this way if I know it's something that I should not feel this way? When I was 16, I was at my parents' house alone, and for some reason, it just hit me hard. I was crying, I was walking up and down them stairs, just screaming at God, asking why I cannot get away from this feeling that I feel about females. So I yelled and I screamed on top of my lungs, crying, asking him to give me a sign to show me that there is a way to stop feeling the way that I'm feeling. I had this boyfriend for 3 years, and doing the little experience, wondering why I still feel the way that I feel, is not making me feel any better. I just ended up breaking things off with him, and I ended up coming out to my parents and telling them that I was bi, only because I didn't want them to think that I did not really like just girls, because I felt scared to come out. I made it easier for saying that I like both. As I got older, my mother had a hard time accepting that I came out to her. She told me that I can go to hell because of doing the sin. And I already knew because I prayed to God about it and asked him to help me with this situation. And when I did pray, I heard nothing back, and I felt alone. And I felt like nobody was going to be there for me in that situation to help me, guide me through that situation. So I kind of ended up losing my faith. That's when I just started acting out and became depressed. I kept to myself. I bottled everything up and never told anything to anybody on what I was going through. As I got older, I ended up seeing that my sister started going to church. She was off and on going to church, but this time she stayed in church, and she told me her experience. She made me realize that my faith could be there still, because I have lost my faith because of how I came and all about how I was praying to him. Sometimes when we want to go to God, we go to God when we're in need of something, when we should go to him every single day. And I basically saw her change, and I kept seeing that maybe there is a way to understanding why I felt the way that I felt when I was 16. I was living in Connecticut, and when I moved back to Lebanon, PA, I ended up going to church, and little by little, I've kept building up my faith. It made me realize that I do believe in God, that my faith was just lost in the things that I just was stuck in. I was trapped, and I felt like there was no way out of where I was. Believing that, I see that a change in my sisters and seeing their growth and their faith, made me inspired and made me look for God once again, because I always ran away from him when I knew he was always there waiting for me to come back to him. I strongly believe in God, and I do believe that my faith will continue to grow. And knowing that I no longer have that feeling that I felt with females that I did back when I was 16 and when I was growing older. It kept fading away as the more I get closer to God. And it was like a sign that he was always there, and I just neglected to have him in a way. So, yeah.